Hi friends, Chasta here. Welcome to another episode of Soundwaves TV. I look forward to this episode that we do every single season, so let's get into it. This week we'll hear amazing covers of classics from Judas Priest, a-ha, Huey Lewis and the News, The Weeknd, and The Knack. We'll also mass debate what makes a great cover, and we'll welcome Bay Area-based singer-songwriter Matt Jaffe to the studio. This is Soundwaves TV. Welcome, friends, to another episode of Soundwaves TV. Chasta did
We did not plan that. We didn't plan that.
That was
Wow.
the best
Wow.
opening we've ever done.
That's
Stupid.
That was awesome.
Brought to
Cheers
you
that.
by-
Well, yes, we'll never be able to do that again, probably. You freaking don't. Hello, jeez Louise.
Left you
We're off
hanging?
to
I
a
left
really
you.
good start here. Oh, my.
Yep.
I mean, we're three episodes
Yep,
into the
yep.
fifth season, and we're still screwing up like this? Amazing.
That's why
No,
you
we
love
do
us.
get progressively sloppy as the episodes go. So
I wonder what.
And we had to keep our
Yeah.
shit together because we were on broadcast TV before. But
now all bets are off. So
yeah.
We're charming. That's why you love us, right? So we should probably explain something why we're all wearing Harley Davidson t-shirts. So between seasons, which feels like an eternity for us. I
Right.
mean, we still obviously hang out as family and all that, but you guys don't get to see us, and I know you miss us. So between season 4 and season 5, we did some fun stuff together, and we did film
Yes.
one of the things. So we gave away a Harley Davidson with 1077 The Bone at McGuire Harley Davidson in Pacheco. We love everyone at McGuire, and they gave us basically the whole dealership to just run
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
and put on a party.
It was an awesome Bone event. It was really, really cool. Sona played, Sam Chase and the Untraditional played.
Yes.
He was really hungover.
He was. He
Yeah.
told me he was. Yeah. He was sweating it out.
Sorry,
poor
Sam.
guy.
But it really helped the Sam Chase experience. I think you really felt.
Well, it's funny when I went up and said hi. I was like, "How you doing? Are we feeling any pain?" And he's like, "Well," he says, "I get to stare at the sun for the next 2 hours."
Oh man, poor guy. Well, it was a daytime gig, and there wasn't beer there because it was a family event. So his hangover brought the boozy vibe anyway.
Absolutely,
he was just
absolutely.
oozing the booze.
and by the way, the owner of McGuire,
Mike,
So I'm not entirely sure, and I pardon me if I don't remember who. But once we were wrapping up, we were invited to come in and pick out shirts.
Yes, we were.
And that's awesome. And thank you.
Such a great business. We do support local music, obviously, here at Soundwaves, but we also want to support, local businesses, local community, especially after the pandemic and everything that was so crazy. These mom and pop type shops that, are owned by families like that. It's just really important to spread the good word.
and even with everything being the way it was, COVID-wise and everything, Mike just opened up his business. He opened up his heart. He was a great guy. It was an amazing event.
Yeah, he's like, come on in.
I mean, did you catch when Shasta said they gave away a Harley? I mean, we're not talking, like a little broom or anything. It was a
It was
beast.
a gorgeous bike.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Colton
Beautiful.
was his name, I believe.
Yeah.
Wasn't it, Joe? Yeah, Colton was our winner. He was so cute. Fun all the way around. So big shout out to Mike McGuire and everybody at McGuire
Thanks, Mike.
Harley Davidson. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. All
Awesome.
right.
All right.
We got
let's do
music
it.
to get to, right?
We do. We
All
do.
right.
It is our covers edition. We love doing the
I
cover
love
show.
the
Oh,
show.
I'm so excited.
And later on, we're going to mass debate what makes a great cover and what that all means.
You missed our faces while you were talking.
Oh, I know exactly what
You
faces
felt
you
our
made.
faces,
In
I
fact, we can't even say that off camera without stuff going really, really, really south. So we're going to see
True.
where it goes.
Yeah.
But I love this. This is great. This is a cover of, believe it or not, the most popular song of the 21st century. It's true. You can look it up. It's been a year in the top 10. A year in the top 10. And when this UK cover band did this song, actually, I don't even know if they're a cover band. I apologize, but they're a UK band and they did this cover. They also worked in one of the most popular songs from the last century. So check it out. This is a band called Friends Like These, and you'll hear the two songs right now.
I've been trying to call. I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you could show me how to love. Maybe I'm going going through withdrawals. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch, baby. I look around and see the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly where you're gone, and I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. And I say, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust. Hey, hey, hey. I'm running out of time, 'cause I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Whoa, the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone, and I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. And I say, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust. Hey, hey, hey. Take on me, take on me, take me up, take on me. I'll be gone in a day or two. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch.
That was Friends Like These on Soundwaves TV. Did you catch The Weeknd and a little sampling of Aha, Take On Me? I love that. That's so clever and so cool. We really find some cool stuff and deliver it to you on Soundwaves TV, you know, if I do say so myself. Coming up, more amazing cover versions, a mass debate about what makes a great cover, keeping it faithful or changing it up. And we'll have Bay Area-based singer-songwriter Matt Jaffe joining us in the studio. But first, we got to get over to our boy Joe.
Hey, hang on 1 second. Hey, I got a movie question for you. This is the movie question.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
The Joker from the Batman movies,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Do you consider him to be a bad guy or a clown?
Well, I mean, he's a clown bad guy, and all clowns are bad guys. So don't you think that's kind of a trick question?
You want to just slide out?
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, We're gonna go ahead and throw this over to Joe Hawk because he's gonna be introducing a video that Chasta will never see, but you will, Joe.
Joe Hawk here. What's going on, everybody? And yeah, we are talking about cover songs all this week. And for me, growing up in the 90s, a little bit of a punk rock kid, I am a sucker for punk rock covers, stuff like that, putting your own little twist on it. But truly, what makes a good cover? Is it putting your own twist on it or staying true and making a true rendition of that song? But, you know, with this video, it's going to blow your mind when it comes to this cover. We all know this classic from Judas Priest, You Got Another Thing Coming. Well, David Lunning definitely takes this video and puts his own little twist on it by kind of channeling Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. So take a look at this. Enjoy this cover from David Lunning of Judas Priest, You've Got Another Thing Coming.
One life, I'm gonna live it up. I'm taking flight, I said I'll never get enough. Stand tall, I'm young and kinda proud. And I'm on top as long as the music's loud. And And if you think I'll sit around as the world goes by, you're thinking like a fool, cause it's a case of do or die. Out there's a fortune waiting to be had. You think I'll let it go, you're mad. You got another thing coming. You got another thing coming. That's right, here's where the talking ends. Listen, this night there'll be some action spent. Drive hard, I'm calling all the shots. I got an ace card coming down on the rocks. If you think I'll sit around with chip away my brain, this night fooling, and you better think again. Out there's a fortune waiting to be had. You think I'll let it go, you're mad. You got another thing coming. You got another thing coming. And in this world we're living in, we have our share of sorrow. And so now it's don't give in, aim for a new tomorrow. Oh, so hot, no time to take a rest. Act tough, ain't room for second best. Real strong, got me some security. I'm a big smash going for infinity. And if you think I'll sit around as the world goes by, you're thinking like a fool, cause it's a case of do or die. Out there's a fortune waiting to be had. You think I'll let it go, you're mad. You got another thing coming. 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 You got another thing coming.
Hey, what's up? Morris Knight here on Soundwaves TV. Glad you're hanging out with us. And hey, what you want to do is stick around because I've got an awesome cover coming your way of, you're not going to believe this one, but yes, it's true. Remember that song, My Sharona? Yeah, that's on the way. So stick around. You don't want to miss out. Coming up next, well, what makes a good cover version? You know what? We're about to chop it up from every angle, so don't go anywhere.
If you'd like to be considered for airplay on either Soundwaves FM on 107.7 The Bone or right here on Soundwaves TV, all you have to do is go to 1077thebone.com/Soundwaves, drop a link to your music, submit, and that's it. As simple as that. You know, it's kind of like the movie Airheads, except you don't take anyone hostage.
You guys are crazy, man.
This portion of Soundwaves TV is sponsored by Longboard, the coolest hidden gem on the coast. A world-class music venue with a neighborhood vibe. Stop by for a drink or check out an awesome show. For more information or to get tickets to an upcoming event, go to thelongboardbar.com.
"40 years ago, we met a band introduced to us as the first supergroup of the 80s. It was these guys.
Cause it's the heat of the moment. Heat of the moment.
Asia's Heat of the Moment dominated the summer of 1982 and sent this album, the eponymously titled Asia, to #1 as well. Asia was made up of John Wetton, who had fronted King Crimson for a few years, Carl Palmer, best known as a founding member of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Steve Howe, who was in 3 incarnations of the band Yes, and Jeff Downs, who had also played with Yes and these guys too.
Video killed the radio star.
Yep, Jeff Downs was the first keyboardist ever featured on MTV. Because he was in the Buggles, Video Killed the Radio Star, which was the first video ever shown on MTV. So let me get this straight. You've got two guys from Yes, one guy from King Crimson, and one guy from the Buggles. And it came out sounding like this. Of course, fans of prog rock and snobby rock critics raked the first supergroup of the 80s across the coals, but Asia had the last laugh. Their debut album became the biggest album of 1982, and Heat of the Moment became one of the defining hits of the entire decade. Fun fact, the iconic Asia logo and the album's artwork was designed by legendary artist Roger Dean. One of my great rock and roll memories was actually interviewing the late, great John Wetton, the lead singer and bass player from Asia, and asking him about working with Roger Dean to create an all-encompassing image that would encapsulate everything Asia was about.
He came, we said we wanted a symbol to represent the band Asia, and he said, well, what better symbol than a dragon? We said, yeah, let's see what you could do with that one. So when he hatched the dragon idea, everyone just said, yeah, this is great stuff.
Even still, labels being labels and bean counters being bean counters, nobody was actually convinced that this supergroup would actually work.
I remember talking to the president of the record company, and he said, the logo is illegible, the artwork's too dark, and on the album, quite frankly, we don't hear a single. All of those things combined to make the biggest selling record of the year, you know. So, I mean, some people liked it.
The Asia and Yes camps would actually cross paths a number of times, and in 2009, when that interview took place, Asia and Yes were actually touring together, so I had a chance to see the show. And yes, Asia actually played this song.
In my mind and in my car, we can't rewind, we've gone too far.
Rest in peace, John Wetton, and happy anniversary to Asia the album, Asia the band.
Make a one man weep, make another man sing. Change your heart to a little white dove. More than a feeling, that's the power of love. Tough in the diamonds, rich like cream. Strong and harder than a bad girl's dream. Make a bad one good, make her all right. Power love will keep you home at night. Don't
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Stephen Kirk here with you on Soundwaves TV, along with just about everybody else. Dennis had to go out and make a beer run, but this is a part of the show where we all get to masturbate.
So, wait, what? In front of Shasta?
and this is just me holding for the comments. That's all. Our topic this week. Yeah, okay. Where were we? Oh, yes, that's right. All right, here's this week's topic, kids. We are talking about, seeing as this is our covers show, we're going to talk about what makes a good cover? What makes a bad cover? I mean, do we do a new version where we put a new spin on something? Do we try to stay as faithful as possible to the original? What do you think? Chasta, why don't we start with you?
I thought I knew the answer to this definitively until a couple of weeks ago. One of my favorite singers of all time, Beth Hart. Do you guys know who that is? Fantastic singer. If you don't know who she is, look her up. But she did an entire tribute album to Led Zeppelin. And yeah, I mean, that's like, you're starting at the top, right? Yeah. So I wouldn't really trust anyone to do Zeppelin besides her. And as much as I love her, I wasn't crazy about it because what you just said, she didn't stick to the songs. I played it for Jay. We were listening to the whole thing together, and he was like, "Oh," like he would wince when she would change something. And it wasn't that she didn't hit it, and it wasn't that it didn't sound good. But like, do you change Zeppelin? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, as soon as you say that, the eyebrow goes up.
Yeah, right.
You better bring it.
Yeah.
And she did.
And then so it's like you walk into Rome with your dukes up. You're ready to fight.
Yeah.
Because if you mess this up, it's going to be all bad.
I don't want to bag on her because she did a really good job, but you are starting with Zeppelin, and that's like almost untouchable ground. But I do recommend you listening to it after this conversation and think about that because it really is. I like usually people to make covers their own, but I guess not with Led Zeppelin.
You know, just for my opinion, one of the things that I found is I'll go in with that with the mindset of, hey, you know, make it your own or do something different. I'm always surprised though, the ones that I do like, I couldn't have predicted what they were going to do. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times we want people to, you know, hey, you know, stay true to the classic, respect the classic, especially when you're going to touch Zeppelin. Or like a long time ago, there was this R&B dude who did a cover of When Doves Cry by Prince. Of all the Prince songs that people have covered, he wanted to tackle Prince's biggest hit, if you will. It sucked ass.
Oh wow!
I'll tell Genuine to his face. You know that sucked.
Yeah.
And I'd be the second person because Prince told him back in the day.
Oh wow!
But I've heard other Prince covers. One of the biggest is Shaka Khan's "I Feel for You." People don't realize that that's written by Prince and it was released on his second album. Yeah. And it was better than what he did, but they completely flipped it. The only thing that remained that Prince had any involvement in was the main melody and the lyrics, and that was it. And Shaka Khan and Melly Mel, I believe, who produced it, totally took it to another level. But you couldn't have predicted what they were going to do. You know.
But when you've got somebody that's as iconic as Prince, if you're going to remake or you're going to do a cover of, you better be iconic as well. Because I'll even see that Prince, and I'll go Tom Jones doing Kiss. You know?
Oh yeah,
because he just Tom Jones all over that fucker. You know,
again,
and it was a great version. It was just Tom Jones.
So you're a kid in the '80s, and Prince is your favorite, and you hear, "Oh, really, Tom Jones?"
Yeah. Yep.
You want so badly to hate this guy, everything about him, really. And he killed it.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You're trying to not like it, but you end up loving it. It's like, how am I going to explain this to my mom?
It's actually crazy because I was set coming into this conversation. I was like, no, make it your own. But, you know, it's like you guys bring up valid points and you think about it. And it's, you know, but the thing is like, I don't want a complete rehashing of somebody else's version because the original version usually is always the best. Right. And them following it up and doing some version is not going to be better. Right. But someone can take it to a different level. So just like you're saying, if they take it to a different level, they bring their game. If they step it up.
Well, what about Guns N' Roses Knocking on Heaven's Door?
I literally grabbed the microphone for that reason. And I was just getting ready to piss him off.
I grew up thinking that was Guns N' Roses version, not...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
That also is a generational thing too, because when I heard that song, that was a Guns N' Roses song.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
You know, and I didn't learn till much later that it wasn't.
Wow.
And Come Together, calm down. Aerosmith to me is a better version of that song. I know, Bree.
That's it.
I know. I love the Beatles. Don't get me wrong, but I love that version. So it is so song and artist dependent, each one, right? I mean, I took notes on this because I'm taking this very simply. So I'm looking at Simple Man very seriously.
I love that song.
Shine Down. When they did Simple Man, that was an incredible version. They did it justice. They kept to it, but they did it with his voice is just so powerful.
I don't know. I don't know.
You didn't like it?
Really?
No?
I just
You just
wanted,
want Skinner.
Yeah, Skinner.
You just need Skinner. Just keep it
simple.
It's
just, I don't know,
you know what?
man.
No, we need a
But
Morris Knight version of that.
But
there you go.
Right? Speaking of Morris Knight's versions, on my Dawn of Eros album, there is a cover of a Smiths tune.
Yes.
Shameless plug, not shamed at all, y'all.
Hashtag not shamed at all.
And I dared
Get that trending.
I dared to tackle the debut song of the Smiths, Hand in Glove. And I only did it because I was feeling it. I didn't really think about, I need to put a cover on my album. I just, it's always been a song that I loved, and I decided to do it. And one of the things that I purposely did in my cover of that song, or remake, if you will, was I always wanted to hear the bass more. So the bass is way forward in that song, and people who have heard it, the 4.5 people who've heard it,
I'm half.
agree that I did the right thing.
We got your back.
I stayed pretty much true to the arrangement, though. I mean, the way that they had it laid out, I didn't, go crazy with trying to remake the song completely. I just kind of wanted to sing it, but it's just one step above a karaoke version. I didn't want to just do Morrissey and the Smiths. I just wanted to do me happening to doing a song that they did,
Yeah.
And I personally think I did it justice. The people that have heard it think, no, dude, I mean, like, again, you see that on paper, and people, especially, diehard Morrissey and the Smiths fans, they're all upset as soon as they see it. In fact, that's why I believe on the CD, it's not called Hand in Glove, it's just called HIG. Oh. So you would be surprised when you come upon it, so that you're not walking in, again, like I said earlier, with the freaking Dukes up. How is this dude going to, touch the Smiths? I mean, come on, 80s emo, alternative rock fans, some other shit. But
they're always ready to fight.
Right now.
Yeah, no.
You can't touch the Smiths.
Yeah.
Come on, man. My name is close to his.
Yeah.
Can't I have a little bit? But that was my thought on it.
That's interesting, though, because you're the only artist that's done a cover like that. I mean, all of us do our own versions in the shower, I'm sure, but yours is legit.
Yeah.
But I do
Mine should have stayed in the shower.
I do. No.
And when Joe and Joe do their duet.
Forget about it.
Islands in the stream. That is what we are.
That was kismet. I did want to give a
Don't
shout
bump
out.
your mics together.
That's not how we're bumping.
No one wants to see the bumping of mics.
Check, please.
I feel like we should out on that, but I do actually want to hear a couple of your favorites. I do want to shout out to somebody who I think no matter what he did, no matter what song he chose, he took it to the next level, and that was the late, great Chris Cornell. When he did Patience, when he did Nothing Compares to You, he had a way of handling songs like that just made them so ethereal and haunting, which is odd now, of course, with his passing, but he could do no wrong for me. So those are a couple of my favorites. I want to hear from you guys.
Well, a great song is a great song, for starters, and a great song can take a little tweak and a twist and a pull and to change it up a little bit. And to go back to what you were talking about with the Beatles and everything, I love the Beatles and everything. I adore the version of Dear Prudence by Susie and the Banshees, and in fact, I will go so far as to say that I like that version better than the Beatles version.
I would agree.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's a classic song, and but you get that classic voice in there, and you give it that little bit of a twist, and it's great. I love it.
That's how I feel about Joan Jett, Crimson and Clover.
Yes.
That is such a fantastic version of that song.
Yes.
Okay, who you found?
So my favorite is I don't know the artist who originally did it, but it was done on American Idol, and it was Billie Jean. And it was just so different from the Michael Jackson version. and it was just so.
They did do a they did Beat It. Excuse me.
Okay.
Fall Out Boy did a version of.
You're
Beat
talking
It,
about an American Idol artist.
Yes.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of her name.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
can't. But he didn't do the original arrangement. It was another artist did the arrangement. He kind of just used it, but it was just amazing.
But to your point, American Idol always said make it your own,
and they do. They do a lot.
Right.
There's a lot of artists that do versions because they have to do cover versions. Because they don't have any songs of their own.
Right.
But and some of the versions they do are pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Joe?
So for me, because I grew up in the 90s, listening to a bunch of punk bands cover some outrageous songs. That's what I like about some covers that are some of my favorite. I have way too long of a list of favorite covers because I love the covers that just jump genres. So go like some of my favorite albums, the collaborative albums of like Pop Goes Punk. Like those are some of my favorite ones. Like A Day to Remember, they did Cable Car from Kelly Clarkson. And another one, Aha's Take On Me by Real Big Fish. That's one of my favorite ska songs ever, even though it is a cover song. But like even some of the heavy metal we were talking about off the camera a little bit ago, Youth in Revolt. They do a cover of Lord's Royals.
Fantastic.
And like what's great is that they do keep the melody, but then they hammer it down with the big growls and stuff like that. The list goes on and on for me. But for me personally, when it comes to covers, yes, staying true to a cover song is great if you want to like tribute to that band. But if you want to just have fun, fucking have fun. But don't fuck up.
We'll call you on it.
Yeah, sure.
An important safety tip. Thanks, Ian.
Yeah. Here's Joe Hawk saying, "Don't fuck up."
The posters of that will be available in the lobby after the show. All right, everybody. Well, everybody's had a little bit to say. What do you got to say? Hit us up on social media. Let us know what your favorite covers are. Share the links. Go to YouTube, find it, and share it with us so we can all enjoy it and everything. Thank you very much for mass debating with us, and we will.
We'll not used to that. Still not used to it.
Now we can go on with it without thinking about that.
That's that repetitive motion. I understand. Yes.
We're going to be back.
It's important for your first date.
Stick around. More Soundwaves TV coming up.
If you'd like to be considered for airplay on either Soundwaves FM on 107.7 The Bone or right here on Soundwaves TV, go to 1077thebone.com/soundwaves. It's kind of like back in the day, scamming your way into a radio station with your demo tape, but never actually having to leave the house.
You guys are crazy, man.
Check out Soundwaves TV on all our social media accounts. Deleted scenes, extended interviews, the latest announcements, and official playlists. The Bay Area plays here. Hit us up everywhere at Soundwaves TV.
Hey everyone, you're watching Soundwaves TV. Chasta here with Matt Jaffe. I'm so excited to talk to you today. I found out about you for the first time through K-Fog. You were kind of a K-Fog darling. K-Fog, rest in peace, obviously. So a lot of people already know you, but I'm taking the chance that we're introducing you to some Soundwaves TV members. So we're going to kind of go down the roster, and you might notice that I'm holding my phone. I've never done this on Soundwaves ever, because I usually don't even take notes with artists. But as I was kind of...
I'm honored.
Yeah, I was kind of going through, and there's... I just want to name drop for you, because I don't feel like you will, and this is some important stuff to note. So Matt has worked with Jerry Harrison of the Talking Heads, played with Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead. You opened for Blues Traveler and Wilco, and you've written with Tom Higginson of the Plain White T's. And you've been at this professionally, I guess, if that's the best word to use, since you were about 16, and you're 20 what now?
I'm 26 now, yeah.
That's a decade of like, boom. I mean, that's coming out of the gate swinging. Congratulations, first of all, before we even get started.
Thank you.
So I do want to go back. I happen to know that you started at open mics when you were around 10 years old.
That's right, yeah.
So how did that start? Up in the North Bay, in the Mill Valley, or
Yes,
Fairfax area?
Fairfax, that's right.
I have a good memory. See how good that is?
That's good.
How did that start when you were just 10 years old?
Well, my mom, while shopping for Christmas gifts, named that my my marquee ask that year was a mandolin. I started on violin, and mandolin is the same tuning as a violin.
Okay.
And, you know, my heroes like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards didn't have many instruments up here. They tend to be down there. So, you know, a mandolin was sort of like a tricycle to a guitar's bicycle.
Yeah.
So my mom was shopping, and someone at a not a music store, a ceramics store, suggested that I go to an open mic. And to her great surprise, I said that I would like to go, since I was and still more or less am a pretty introverted person.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went there, started going every single Monday night to this bookstore.
So you obviously loved it when you did it the first time.
I'm just stubborn.
That's fair. I like
no,
that.
I was very shy. I wore this fedora, the brim of which covered my eyes for the first couple of years. I would get on stage, sort of do the thing, and then rush off. And I'm surprised I did it, actually.
I just want to break that down for a second, because there's so many artists that are like that. One of my favorites of all time, Janis Joplin, she notoriously had sort of an on-stage persona. Pearl was her name. Do you feel like that you sort of step into, now that you're more confident on stage, obviously, that you step into a different persona, or are you just simply more confident?
I think ideally a different persona.
Yeah.
I think that...
Like kind of putting on a mask and doing...
I think... I don't know. My theory is that that's all great performers, and I think it's the facade of it is part of the performance, like, you know, David Bowie or something, like, you know, the act is the act.
Yeah.
But I think even a Tom Petty or someone who is projecting sort of the everyman, you know, aw shucks thing, I still think that's inhabiting something. Yeah, I mean, to be able to slip into that persona and sort of get carried away. As someone who's separate from the songwriter, like the performer, that is the goal.
Yeah. You've been connected to all these people that I just mentioned. I kind of want to start with Jerry for the Talking Heads, because I know that was such an impactful band for you. How did you get connected with him?
After becoming an obsessive Talking Heads fan, thanks to an introduction by my parents.
By the way, shout out to your parents, who are clearly awesome. I mean,
they're all right.
Very supportive, it seems.
They're very supportive.
Yeah.
I worry that I have no chance, because whenever you read artist's memoir, they say, "Oh, my parents were terrible."
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I can't make it because my parents are cool.
You didn't have any horrible childhood stuff to deal with. That's great. That's a great thing to have. But in music, I understand what you're saying.
They introduced me to Talking Heads. I became truly obsessed. I watched Stop Making Sense every night of the week that we had it from our local video store. And one day we were sitting at a restaurant and Jerry Harrison walked by, and I looked like a ghost, or looked perhaps like I'd seen a ghost. Maybe a ghost seeing a ghost.
Whatever. A ghost seeing a ghost.
You know, we're in the spirit realm already.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometime later, my dad and I were driving, and we saw him in the car next to us. And mind you, I'm in like 5th grade. You know, I'm not. So amazing. And we follow him to a hardware store. Luckily, he does not go to a private residence.
Yeah, that could be awkward. Borderline stalkerish.
Yeah, again, being in 5th grade kind of helps with that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, your dad was smart on that.
Yeah. And my dad introduced me to him, and we sort of struck up a friendship, whatever friendship can be struck up between an awkward 5th grader and a 60-something rock and roll Hall of Famer.
Right.
And
God, that's kind of mind-blowing. What?
And I started doing these open mics, and he saw me at a few and was gracious enough to give me the opportunity to work with him, to have him produce some music for me.
That's just not a start that most people get. You obviously know that. I mean, that is some cosmic universal energy working in your favor. It just is. I mean, you know, most people have their heroes in their head. I do definitely get David Bowie vibes off of you a lot of times. Do you love him? Is he an inspiration to you?
You know, he is. I don't like him as much as people
say
that I
Yeah.
remind them of him,
Yeah.
but I do love him.
I mean, it's a huge,
He's
it's
great.
a compliment.
Oh no, I
obviously.
know. I love his thing. I haven't found my way into all of his music.
Yeah.
I love Ziggy. I love Hunky Dory, but I haven't gotten into the albums that you're supposed to like.
Right.
You know, Low and Heroes and.
You've still got time.
Still got time.
You got nothing but time.
That's
on your
right.
hands.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bob Weir, Grateful Dead.
Okay,
Because speaking of icons, you play the Sweetwater. It seems fairly often.
Yeah,
up in the
they've
North
been
Bay.
very good to me.
Yeah.
For sure.
How is your connection with Bob Weir and everybody there?
Well, my connection with Bob is American Beauty is another album my parents got me.
Sure.
That's the last thing I'll say that makes my parents seem any kind
I want to
of
meet
cool.
your parents. That's my takeaway so far. Amazing people.
And it's really not through music though that I got to know Bob. I love running and biking on Mount Tam, and he is also an avid runner. So I got to know him a little bit through that, and then we do this annual December 23rd show at the Sweetwater, and one time I just asked him, would he like to sit in? And amazingly, he did. It was sort of touch and go. It's one of those things where you don't want to tell anyone
until it happens.
After it
happens, and you get to talk about it, post it on Instagram and whatnot.
He joined us. He was super nice, very down to earth. Is total mensch.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Are you getting used to hanging out with these kind of icons? You've got quite the roster.
I think, I mean, you know, between those two guys, Jerry and Talking Heads in general were just so formative.
Yeah.
So to me, and visually, they're so much more impactful to me too. And that's, I think, by virtue of them being an MTV band, like their imagery is so foundational to what Talking Heads is. I mean, Stop Making Sense, videos for Once in a Lifetime, all that stuff. Whereas the Grateful Dead, of course, there's symbolism around them, but the skull logo and the dancing bear, all of that is kind of what I think of before I think of the effigies of the band members themselves.
Yeah.
So I think the discovering Talking Heads earlier for me, and the way in which they inhabited visual medium.
Yeah.
To me, I'm still like more flabbergasted that I know Jerry.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
pretty
oh,
mind blowing.
whoa, that's
pretty
cool.
good. It's still cool.
it's still very cool. If I thought it wasn't cool, you should check my pulse. Or something.
Absolutely. Hopefully, it will always remain that way.
Yeah.
You put out a new video recently and song called Weekend Lover, and I have to compliment the cowboy hat. The French. Where do you get a cowboy hat with that kind of French? Or was it made?
No, I don't think it was made.
It's spectacular.
It's probably thrifted, if anything.
It's got to be thrifted.
My friend Jo, who I went to high school with, she's directed 2 videos for me now, and we share a love of all things desert and sort of, Howard Hawks, John Ford, all that stuff, and. I've always wanted to look like a cowboy, and
you pulled it off quite well.
I had a phase where every shirt I wore had the
fringe and stuff.
Well, not the fringe. You know how there's embroidery?
Oh, sure.
Like,
yes, of course.
A rose or a skull
Yeah.
This is kind of my
That's your go-to. Your look.
My hybrid is like it actually does have the yoke, but it's not. It's not
in yellow or something.
Right. It's not screaming from across the room.
Yeah.
I want to be a cowboy, and I grew up in the Bay Area.
Yeah. Well, you're in the North Bay. It's a little more woodsy, a little more country up there. I guess. That's funny.
She found all that stuff, did the treatment for the video. She's great.
It's fun.
I'm lucky to be able to delegate stuff like that to someone who I love and trust, and I know they're going to do something great.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I assume Weekend Lover is part of something coming, a new album?
It's on an album I released whenever I released it.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Was that during COVID? I know.
Yeah,
time is not the same anymore.
Well, it's you finish making the record, you get the masters back, and then you get the CDs, which to me is more exciting than it going on Spotify. Then you release it single by single, which feels very sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's different these days. We have a lot of those conversations around these parts, you know, how bands used to do it and build up to something grand and drop an album versus now it's like ripping off a single just to keep people's appetite suppressed. I mean, that's really what it's about, right? Just keep feeding your audience. Because social media happens so fast, you feel like you got to always do that.
So then you have an album of 9 songs. You've already released every song. So it's like, oh, my album's out. What does that even mean? It means nothing.
That's such a good point.
Sadly.
Yeah, that we talk about that. So do you have a new album ready to come out now?
We are finishing mixing in the next probably 24 to 48 hours.
That's exciting.
And here's a breaking of the fourth wall, but when this airs.
It
will have happened a month ago.
Okay, that's great. Okay, good. So we have, and how many songs are on that album?
It's 8 songs.
8 songs.
Yeah,
okay, beautiful.
yeah.
Well, we look forward to it. I look forward to your next outfit too, and music video.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
super
see.
fun.
We'll see.
We'll come back and chat with us again, hopefully. You know, we're kicking off the dust for season 5, but we would love to have you back and hopefully play, maybe do some fun stuff for us.
Well, thank you for having me as part of the show.
Tell everybody where to find you online. Where you hang out most often.
Where do I hang out? Well, I was on Clubhouse for a while, but I couldn't figure out what the point of Clubhouse was.
Me either.
So
I tried for like a day. Yeah, no.
Anyway, that's where not to find me.
Yeah.
I think Instagram is where I'm most reliably kind of interested in what's going on.
Interested in what's going on.
Well, people actually curate themselves on there.
They
do.
Yeah.
It's like Twitter is a cesspool.
It's a hot mess
and Facebook is a dinosaur. And Instagram, I follow people. I'm like, that's nice.
You get the best of people on Instagram.
You do.
So find the best of Matt Jaffe on Instagram.
Yeah, that's enough. But yes.
Thank you so much for being here. We're going to play Weekend Lover if that's okay with you.
Please do. Thank you very much.
Weekend Lover, Matt Jaffe. You're watching Soundwaves TV. We'll be right back.
The stars above are almost hidden. The moon refuses to be seen. You can sabotage the sunset or suffocate the dawn, but there's a little light left in between. 'Cause I don't wanna be your weekend lover. No, I don't wanna be your weekend lover. No, I wanna love you on the darkest of your days. But you can blame me for the weather, and you can fault me for the rain. The cloth of Inquisition, I'll wear it without tears, and I'll bear the mantle of your pain. 'Cause I don't wanna be your weekend lover. No, I don't wanna be your weekend lover. No, I wanna love you on the darkest of your days. I cannot spring you from this nightmare. It's a cage without a key. You could be light as a feather, or one that floats its way to me. They say that time will make it better, and that there's every chance to heal. I've heard about forgiveness, I've heard of patience too, but they're no match for how you feel. 'Cause I don't wanna be your weekend lover. No, I don't wanna be your weekend lover. No, I wanna love you on the darkest of your days. No, I don't wanna be your weekend lover. No, I don't wanna be your weekend lover. No, I wanna love you on the darkest of your days.
Hey, want to watch Soundwaves TV on your big screen? Head over to the Roku Channel store and download our free app, Soundwaves TV. You'll get every brand new episode and archives of every past season. Do it now. We've got your next party covered.
This portion of Soundwaves TV is sponsored by Longboard, the coolest hidden gem on the coast. A world-class music venue with a neighborhood vibe. Stop by for a drink or check out an awesome show. For more information or to get tickets to an upcoming event, go to thelongboardbar.com.
Hey, what's up? Morris Knight here on Soundwaves TV, and yes, it is now time for our final video. You may have actually heard this one before. It's actually blown up all over the place, and so, they're really going to be putting this Philadelphia band on the map for sure. They're called Soraya, and although they've had some success in the past, this is going to be like that one Weezer cover, remember? Basically, they're going to be playing this one for the rest of their life, just like Weezer is going to have to do with Africa, so check it out. This is Soraya with their cover of the Knacks, My Sharona.
Gonna
All right, that was Soraya with My Sharona. And I got to tell you, that is the original My Sharona is one of those songs. When I'm in the car, it goes up to 11 every single time. And long before Reality Bites, by the way, I was the one that started that whole trend.
Oh, wow. He's not lying. He turns up his Sharona all the time.
It's up right now, in fact. You just can't see it.
You should see his Sharona.
It is time to go. It's really time to go.
For those of you who haven't seen My Sharona.
Sharon!
We want to thank you for watching. We want to thank Matt Jaffe for stop blah, 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 that.
Cheers
and
to that.
Cheers to that. And we'll be back next week. You know why? Because we're not on TV and we can do whatever we want now. So, Morris Knight, Joe Hawk, Joe McCaffrey. Yeah. And these guys, of course. We're out.
And the rest. Cheers.
See you guys.
I must be on another planet. La 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 la. This is my stop, not to get up. I may go hop. Excuse me. Excuse me. I've got to be direct. If I'm wrong, please correct. You're standing on my neck. You're standing on my neck. You're standing on my neck. La 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 la.